Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about KW Shrimps Lubao. So this video is going to be a little different than what you guys are normally used to. Now, the reason being, in this video, I'm going to post testing and results in this all in one video. So this is going to be recorded over the next few weeks. I'm going to talk about this one product itself. This is Lubao. And first, we're going to talk about Lubao. Then we'll talk about who sends the Lubao over. And then we're going to do some testing. I'm going to show you guys how to prepare the Lubao for your shrimp tanks and how to use it in your shrimp tank. So all of that's going to be here along with the results. And like I mentioned, it's going to take a few weeks, but I will get this video together. So if you guys ever wanted to use Lubao, I'm going to teach you guys how. First thing we're doing is we're going to talk about what Lubao is and why you should use this in your shrimp tanks. Now, I'm gonna read off of this, but then I'll talk to you guys about some of the other things that I've also noticed. So it reads here, it's additional food source for the shrimp. That is because this is the type of bag that you will see in some shrimp tanks for some breeders overseas. They're full of biofilm and other good stuff that the shrimp all seem to be eating on. This is what this is. Now, it's also additional food source for the living bacteria. So the bacteria will actually, benefit from this itself. So when the bacteria benefits, your shrimp tank benefits. Also, it rapidly increases the beneficial microorganisms in the tank. That's always a good stuff. And so that is what a shrimp Lubao would be for. Let me talk to you guys about who sends the Lubao over. So for the last 6 months or so, I've been using KW Shrimp products strictly. I've used some other ones here and there, but for the past few months, it's been only his products I use. And if you guys keep up with my channel, over the last few months, I've had a crazy explosion of breeding. Baby survival rate is awesome. And so it's only right that I show you guys what I've been doing. Now, the Lubao I haven't used yet. I've used it in the past. I've used some different brands, but KW Shrimps just sent this over, and I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing in order to put this in my tanks. Let me show you guys the other products that I've been using, and then we're going to talk about what I'm doing with this. So these are the other two main products that I've been using. The shrimp food is the main staple food I've been using. I've got 2 bags of these. The reason why is one of them is pellet size, and the other one I've actually grinded in one of the baby grinders my wife had and converted into powder food. And that's what I feed as a powder food source, so that way I like to use powder because that ensures that every shrimp in the tank gets some food, including all the babies that I have now. And the other one is the powder bacteria. A lot of you guys watch this channel know just how great this is. I'm also going to post a link right here to KW Instagram and a link down in the description, so you guys can go check out his stuff. Great stuff. He shows results, setting up tanks and all that good stuff. I've used a bunch of products. These have worked for me. I'm not going to go into depth in this video about these. This video is not about this. I just wanted to show you guys. I do import these and I have a ton of these. So if you guys are interested, hit me up on IG. I'll hook you guys up. Let's go back to Lubao. This is what one Lubao bag looks like. Now, this was sent to me. I had to pack it myself. I had to seal it, make sure that none of the product comes out whenever it goes in the tank. Now, this is about 10 grams of the product, and it might look like there's not much in there, but this product will expand. It'll fermentate in the water once it makes contact with the water, and you'll have a much plumper bag once it goes in the water. But I'm actually not using this. Let me show you guys what I'm using. So this is what I'm using. As you guys can see, they're much smaller. They're only 5 grams each. Now, the reason why is I've got 10-gallon tanks, and so although KW does recommend this up to 20-gallon tanks, one of these per, anywhere from 5 to 20-gallon tanks, I just want to make sure that it's not too much product. And so I'm gonna experiment with these. I actually bought these separately, these tea bags. I sealed them myself, and there's only 5 grams in each bag. And so for this video, I'm gonna be testing these out. Now, if you guys have anywhere from a 10 to 20 gallon tank, one of these is more than enough. If you guys have smaller tanks than that, one of these will probably be your best bet. So let me show you guys what we're doing with this. All right, so as you guys can see here, I have a total of 12 bags that I'm going to be soaking. Now, I'm going to guide you guys in this video into what exactly you need to do. So for the first 3 days or so, you want to soak these in RO water. Now, reason being, it'll leach a lot of excessive nutrients in the first 3 days or so. And so you want to make sure to put them in water while changing out the water every single day for new RO water. Now, then after that, we'll get them in the tank, which that we're doing also. And then they might float for a few days, and that's fine. But then I'll show you guys that, and then I'll show you guys once they do sink. And of course, I'll show you guys the end results. And a few weeks from now, I'll show you guys how the shrimp are liking them. Okay? So here we have some water. All we're gonna do is toss them in water. And you guys will see in a bit how they expand and just how much stuff it's gonna let out. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit. So you guys can see here, once with water, the little baggies just expanded. You guys see that? Now they're nice and plump. And this is awesome. I've used different brands before, like I mentioned. I've never used this before. But if it's from KW, I trust it. And so, look at this. Now, obviously, if we rinse them for 3 days, if we soak them for 3 days, sorry, and some of them sink, that's even better. But for now, this is where the video ends for now. I'm going to soak them for 3 days while changing out the water. And then after that, we'll get them in the tank. So I'll be back to show you guys that. All right, guys. So day 3, this is sort of what they look like now. As you guys can see, you guys can kind of see the water is a little bit milky, but not bad at all. It's actually kind of clean compared to how dirty it's been. I have been switching out the water 2 to 3 times a day. The amount of nutrients and stuff that was released was excessive. So like I mentioned when I started this video, if you're gonna cycle a tank, you can just throw it in the tank. But if it's going into established tanks like mine, make sure to rinse this for at least 3 days. Switch out the water in between and before you get them into your tank. So right now I'm gonna drain the water, throw them in the tank. We'll see if some of them sink. And if they float, I mean, it looks like most of them are floating now, which is fine. I'm going to give you guys an update in a few days once they actually do sink. I want to make sure that this is as accurate as it can be. Once they do sink, I'll give you guys an update on that. And also, I'm going to give you guys a 2 to 4 week update included in this video. So I want to check several things. How do the babies do with the Lubao? Do they like it? Are they on it as much as I think they're gonna be? Does it affect their appetite? That's one big thing for me. Are they gonna be eating the same if they have a constant food source? So there's several things that I want to look out for, and I'll keep you guys updated. But for now, let me drain this. We'll get them in the tank. I have a little opening on the top of the tank, so I'll probably just throw it in there, and we'll see how it goes. One thing I do want to point out is just how bad they smell. they smell, dude. We're gonna get them in there. I added some to my cold tanks actually, but I did a lot less product in those. I did 2 grams in my 5-gallon tank and 1 gram in my 3-gallon tank, and they've been fine, and the snails are all over it. Even the shrimp are swimming up there and just, you know, just hovering around there and just grazing on it, which is kind of what I expected. But I still want to see how long it'll take before they sink. but they definitely do smell. I made the mistake of dumping out the water in the sink and then in the restroom, and then later on I walked in there and I was like, damn, like what's going on in here? So I stopped doing that. I'm just disposing of the water outside. That shrimp is immediately on it. I know you guys saw I just threw it in there. Looks like most of them are floating right now. The opening seems to be just big enough too. Alright, so I've got all them. Let me get the bottom tanks. Let me move this stuff out the way. And then we'll see. I'll see right now if the shrimp get on it and give you guys a quick update. So probably a minute after I got it in the tank, you guys can see the reaction. And some of these tanks, they're all over it. These are my Nanashis. Down here I have the blue boats. And I just want to point out, look how great my blue boats look. And some of these, they're just all over it. The babies are all over it as well. So far, it looks to be good. But one thing I do want to make sure is to give you guys the accurate information. So once they all sink, I'm gonna give you guys an update. And then probably about 2 weeks or however long, 2 to 4 weeks, I'll give you guys the final update in this video. Just to see, you know, what I seem to really think about them, if I'll continue using them, which so far I do think so. Remember when I told you guys at the beginning of this video, they also feed the bacteria. So not only do they feed the shrimp, they'll also feed the bacteria in the tank, which is, you know, that's why you have to make sure you have an established tank. It's nice and mature before you get one of these in your tank. Otherwise, it'll mess up your tank. So that's why I do want to make sure to point out that, you know, don't use this if you have a tank that's maybe 2 months old, you know. So I'll be back. I'll give you guys an update. Alright guys, so there's been a small hiccup with the video. If you guys remember, I put the tea bags in here, you know, full of Lubao, and they started breaking apart. The reason being is I bought those myself because I wanted to try less product on them. And I sealed them myself, which the sealing was not part of the problem. The problem was the bag. I don't think they were meant for long-term use in the water. I did put it in here. You guys saw when I put the bags in here. 3 days later, they started sinking. And once they, oh, hey Bingo, my daughter left this here. So once they sunk, I started noticing like the edge of the bag was missing and some of the product was falling out. So I had to take them all out and basically restart the process. Now, these are the bags that Kelvin Wong sent me. I just sealed them myself, and these should not break apart. So basically, you know, we're gonna have to get these back in there and see how long it takes till they sink. And I mean, regardless, this video is gonna take a few weeks to be put out, but I did want to show you guys that happened. And let's get one of these in here. So really, the only thing that's going to happen is the bag's going to be a little bit bigger. That's the reason I had bought some smaller ones, but it looks like it's halfway through sinking anyway. So I'll give you guys an update once it sinks, and you know, give you guys an additional update probably 2 weeks after that, just to see how the babies are doing, because that's one thing I really want to see. I want to see how the babies seem to be doing, and if it does seem to affect the water parameters at all, which I don't think so, because I had the other bag in here for a week already, nothing changed. But I'll give you guys an update. I'll be back. Alright, so luckily this video is taking a few weeks, and that's actually a good thing. Me and the family were sick this past week. We got COVID, and so it's been terrible, but I'm working on a few videos. I know I haven't posted anything, but I did want to come back and update you guys on the Lubao. Now, as you guys can see, these are the new bags. I showed you guys how the other ones were tearing apart. Those were low quality bags.
I went back with the original bags. These are a little bit bigger. Me and Kelvin are working with some newer bags that have some, a little string wrapped around them. So just in case, I just wanted to tell you guys. But these bags seem to work just fine. You guys can see there's biofilm on there. And that's really what they do. For the first few weeks, they were all over it. And right now, even at that, I'm not saying they don't, but they actually takes little breaks from it right now. And so you guys can see there's some shrimp on it. Down here, there's some shrimp on it. So they seem to take breaks and stuff. These are my red pinto colony, and I really love this colony. But overall, I wanted to talk to you guys and just give you my opinion on these. The reason why I've been thinking about, I want to make this specific video about these because obviously this is the product I have, the ones I use, and I'm not sure every Lubao is made the same. Some of them have different ingredients, and so not all of them are going to be like this. One thing I did, let's talk about a few points here. I wanted to make sure that it wouldn't disturb my water parameters. And as you guys can see, every single tank is crystal clear. Now, for some reason, I would say they're even much cleaner than they normally are. Like, for some reason, they're crystal clear. But I'm not going to say that it's due to the Lubao. I'm just letting you guys know it definitely didn't affect water parameters. Baby survival rate, it's still great. Didn't affect anything. I didn't think it would affect anything negatively. What I did think was that maybe due to the ammonia being released because it does release some ammonia, you have to make sure to use these in established tanks, mature tanks that are not brand new, so it doesn't disrupt your water parameters. So obviously my tanks were mature enough, nothing happened, everything's great. Babies are all over it, adults are on it as well. And the last point I want to make is that they still eat. I just fed some powder food, and you guys can see that they're all over the powder food. They're not just on the Lubao. So those 3 points right there, doesn't affect water parameters. Baby survival rate seems to be just as well as it was before this. I'm still using bacteria powder, the same. All the products I use, feeding and bacteria powder, I've been keeping up the same. So that's awesome. And as you guys can see, like, they eat just the same. They're not only on the Lubao, which was a concern of mine. You know, I've never used these for long term, which I think I'm now going to be using these long term. I have a few pounds of this product, so if any of you guys are interested, I have bacteria powder, shrimp food, and Lubao as well. So, and then I can also customize the Lubao to different quantities depending on the size of tank you have. For example, this is 5 grams in each one of these bags. Remember I told you guys the original Kelvin Wong bags are 10 grams, but I'm not using that much product. I just don't want it to be too much in the tank. So if you guys want to go something with like this, just let me know. Make sure you guys can always reach out on Instagram. You guys can also join my Discord. I have an amazing community on Discord. I did want to give you guys an awesome update. I really like them. Like I said, I think overall, I'd recommend them. And you guys know that I don't come on here just recommending stuff. When I do recommend stuff, it's stuff that I use, not just stuff that I want to recommend just because. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Like I said, I've been sick. I'm feeling better, a little bit out of breath right now. But overall, just so much better. So I'm gonna put this video out. I'm working on a few other short videos as well. One on being moss. Look at the moss on my tanks. That's weeping moss. Look at how beautiful it gets. Look at this one. Look at that one right there. This moss has been growing for months now. Look at that one. This is probably my favorite style. It's the same, but for some reason in some tanks it grows up. In some other tanks it grows down. So I'll leave you guys here. I'm gonna work on a few other videos this weekend. I'm super excited to be back. If you guys have any questions about Lubao, put it down in the comments. I will get back to you. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys soon.